Every day, something dramatic happens in the Caribbean that affects our lives. We'll give you the details. We'll give you the facts on Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick. Host Eddie Frederick.
Welcome to Caribbean Perspective. So glad you can join us. The story that dominates in today's edition for Monday, 4th August 2025, and brought to you in association with our friends at Antillean Group. Emancipation Day 2025, Freedom Morning Come in Port of Spain, that is. Details after this important message.
Believe in our strength, we'll stand by you. Protection from all, perils big and small. Reassurance we give, it's so clear to see. Peace of mind, that's our service guarantee. We look after all our family. Yes, we do at every opportunity.
Antillean Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.
The hurricane season is now upon us, so we as Caribbean people need to remember to think safety and be prepared. Avoid venturing outside during a storm or hurricane, especially if there are strong winds. Rooftops and other debris are often blown about and can cause great damage.
Welcome back. What are you going to do with your freedom? The pointed question asked of not just the performers, but the audience gathered at the Treasury building in Port of Spain for the staging of the theatrical performance of Freedom Morning Come by Dr. Into Pearl Springer. Ayana Carter of TTT News reports.
Celebrations began at 4 a.m. with libations at the All Stars Panyard, then to the Yoruba village, remembering the ancestors.
It was powerful. And, I think we strongly felt the presence of our ancestors, and we give thanks to all those who did come out to participate.
From remembering the ancestors to education. Just after 6 a.m., the audience gathered in brightly colored African-inspired clothing just outside the Treasury building in downtown Port of Spain for the play Freedom Morning Come, written and produced by cultural activist and playwright Dr. Into Pearl Springer. In the audience was President Christine Kangaloo and First Gentleman Kerwin Garcia. Speaking with TTT News, Dr. Springer revealed that Freedom Morning Come was not fiction. She said these accounts, skillfully portrayed by members of the Idecator Theatre Company, were actual accounts from real people.
When I sit in rehearsal sometimes and I watch the play, I say, but it feels so real that I remember when I was writing the play, like the characters would be inside my head, But I want to pay special tribute to a brilliant sister of ours, Professor Maureen Warner Lewis, who wrote the book Guinea's Other Sons. That was the source of inspiration for this. Because all these characters, the names, the stories are all real. They're all real. So I want to pay credit to my sister, Maureen Warner Lewis. She lives in Jamaica now, but she has been one of the foremost ones documenting our history and our culture. And I owe her, this place dedicated to her.
Dr. Springer said her hope is that the children and young people of Trinidad and Tobago have the opportunity to learn more about their history through these powerful stories.
My heart goes out to those young, and I wish this play, one of the things I wish is that this play could be in schools, emancipation time is holiday time in schools, but I wish there could be some way of creating a program whereas the work could go to schools.
Following the formal ceremony, music led the way through the streets of Port of Spain for the Canboulay Street procession. Ayana Carter, TTT News.
Over now to Barbados, where hundreds turned out for Friday morning's March for Emancipation and Peace. Leading the powerful morning of unity, celebration and culture was Prime Minister Mia Amor Motley. CBC's Anesta Henry has that story.
The vibrant rhythm of the tug band, chanting libations, and the movements and the footwork demonstrated by members of the Barbados Landship created the perfect blend for this year's emancipation celebrations. Not even wet roads resulting from early morning showers could put a damper on the march for emancipation and peace. Starting at various points, the march culminated at the Buster statue, where Prime Minister Mia Amor Motley led off the lane of wreaths to commemorate the significance of the day. There, Prime Minister Motley also called on Barbadians not to take for granted the tribulations and conversations that led to the erection of the statue.
To remind us of our journey and how far we have come, but yet how far we still have to go. Let us not take for granted the journey. This year represents the first year of the last decade to the 200th anniversary of emancipation. And that 200 years for some will seem like two, because if the veins of injustice continue to run through wherever they are found, then emancipation remains an elusive dream.
And Prime Minister Motley is also asking Barbadians to reflect on their obligations to the future.
Where we see people, we hear people, and we feel people, and in so seeing, hearing, and feeling, that we bring healing and that we bring the possibility of removing violence from our houses, from our communities, from our country, and yes, from our world.
Among the hundreds of people who turned out for the event were parliamentarians, Pan-Africanists, religious leaders, community groups, Black Night Riders, and others. The celebration continued at the Colombo Village with a family fun day filled with food, arts, crafts, and performances. The activities were organized by the Office of Reparations and Economic Enfranchisement. Anesta Henry, CBC News.
You're listening to Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick, in association with our friends at
Antillean Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.
Antonio Day of HGP Nightly News reports that as Emancipation Day 2025 approached, the Guyana Trade Union Congress, GTUC, has called on Guyanese citizens to be vigilant, united and resilient against the external influences that may seek to undermine their freedom and democratic decision-making, especially with general and regional elections set for September 1st.
The Guyana Trade Union's Congress, in its emancipation message, urged citizens to resist outside forces or interests that will sway their decisions or poison their thoughts on Election Day, slated for September 1st, 2025. In a statement on Thursday, the GTUC posited that mental chains can just be as oppressive as iron ones. No outside force must be allowed to undermine the freedom our ancestors secure through sacrifice. The trade union related that in Guyana, descendants of the enslaved helped build this nation from the soil up. The union posited that freedom is more than physical emancipation. It includes the full enjoyment of economic, social, cultural, and political rights. That dream remains incomplete. Too many still feel marginalized, excluded, and unsafe. We must confront these realities head-on, not with fear, but with unity and resolve that the trade union highlighted in its emancipation message. The GTUC reiterated its appeal to Guyana's government, opposition, civil society, business community, religious leaders, and citizens to reserve their promise of inclusive democracy. This goes beyond simply being a catchphrase from our Constitution, as Article 13 defines the principal objective of our political system. It is a standard by which our society must be measured, the Union pointed out. Policies must be fair, programs must serve all, laws must protect everyone equally. This must become our reality, not tomorrow, not after the elections, and we believe in the ideal of a one people, one nation, one destiny, the statement read. On this Emancipation Day, GTUC reminded the people of Ghana that the price of freedom is eternal vigilance. And I quote, "We cannot afford to take our rights for granted. We cannot allow division, fear, or foreign manipulation to undo the progress we have made," the statement affirmed. The right to vote, to speak, to live with dignity, these must be defended with the same passion that once tore down the plantation walls, the GTUC. I am Antonio D reporting for the HCP Nightly News.
Over in Grenada, history was rewritten last week, not with chains and sorrow, but with contracts and shared dreams. At the 4th Afro-Caribbean Trade and Investment Forum, leaders from Africa and the Caribbean gathered to ignite what many are calling a new middle passage, this time one of prosperity. More in this DBS News World report.
The sun-kissed shores of St. George's in Grenada set the stage for Active 2025, a transformative summit uniting Africa and the Caribbean and the global diaspora under one goal: economic cooperation in a fractured world.
Together, we are not merely convening a forum, we are shaping a future. This year's theme, resilience and transformation, enhancing Africa-Caribbean economic cooperation in an era of global uncertainty, is both a call to action and a powerful reimagining of our shared history. It invites us to transform the painful legacy of the transatlantic slave trade into a new corridor of opportunity.
From calls for an Afro-Caribbean free trade agreement to a $3 billion credit line from Afreximbank, the forum delivered big on promises of unity and investment. Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell of Grenada even traced his ancestry to the Ghana people, symbolizing a deeper economic connection beyond policy.
I speak on behalf of all of the leaders of CARICOM that our political will to support global Africa is unwavering, that we recognize that we are in a seminal moment, but that we are not starting from scratch. We are starting from strength. The history we share together is not a weight, it is a wind behind our sails. So we are not going to leave this forum with just another communique. We will leave with a compact, a commitment to act, to implement, and to transform.
Delegates discussed shared solutions for climate resilience, trade barriers, and connectivity, backed by ambitious initiatives like joint ventures, tech hubs, and the Caribbean Exim Bank. And as one speaker put it, they took us out of Africa, but never took Africa out of us.
This forum comes at a defining moment in history, a moment shaped by shifting geopolitical currents, challenges to multilateralism, global economic realignment, and unprecedented opportunities for collaboration. It is precisely in this moment that our collective resolve must strengthen, embracing unity, solidarity, and shared vision.
With over 1.5 billion people across both regions, Active 2025 is more than just a conference. It's a declaration. Africa and the Caribbean are no longer waiting for a seat at the table. They're building their own.
I am Eddie Frederick. This has been Caribbean Perspective, a whole new approach to highlighting developments in the Caribbean. In the meantime, please follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel for daily regional news and more, in association with our friends at Antillian Group.
Believe in our strength, we'll stand by you. Protection from all perils, big and small. Reassurance we give, it's so glad to see. Peace of mind, that's our service guarantee. We look after all our family. Yes, we do at every opportunity.
Antillian Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.